Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here. Thought I had my camera on the stage. There's some weird issues going on with StreamYard right now where I always try to, load up a video here where we can show like the title cards and everything, but they're having some kind of issue. So tripped me up there, but we are live. Thank you guys so much for being cool about me not doing the Sunday weekend roundup. Gosh, I try to every Sunday, 10 a.m., usually not an issue. Saturday night, Saturday was a really busy day, wearing headphones, doing videos pretty much the whole day, live stream, stuff like that. And my left ear, I don't know what's going on, feels like it's infected, or it did at the time. Woke up yesterday morning and I was just in so much pain. So you guys are super awesome for being cool about it. Hopefully we get some folks coming in and checking out the weekend roundup because we have a whole bunch of really fun stuff to talk about. So, and yeah, the chat was popping off here for a minute. Let's see here. Medley Man says, won't be able to make this stream, but I vouch for 5-9X and the remake is good Friday films. We will take that under consideration, Medley Man. Lamontre here. What's happening, Lamontre? Great to see you, my guy. Always popping in the chat to say what's up. Antonis Andriotis, how you doing, Antonis? I've got some material coming up for you very soon, so looking forward to that. Just catching up on the backlog lately. So yeah, you just gotta, sometimes you do, sometimes you plan a little bit more for yourself, and you think you're going to be able to handle it really, really quickly, but then real life stuff happens and you realize that, well, maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. And then we've got Gory Tiger in the chat. What's happening, Gory? Great to see you. Eli Cortez. What's up, Eli? He's saying, I just got invited for a live Q&A with the director of Friday the 13th, Jason Goes to Hell, because I backed In Search of Darkness 90s edition. All right. Heck yeah. That's, what's his name? Marcus. Adam Marcus? Adam Marcus. There it is. What's happening, Trisha? Great to see you in the chat. Hope you're having a good beginning to your week here. Just kicking off. And guys, let me know, because I usually do the weekend roundup on Sunday, but I am considering moving that to like this sort of spot, like a Monday early evening. I mean, for me, West Coast time, I get done with work at 4 o'clock. So by 5 o'clock, ready to go with you guys. Let me know if Monday is a better day for you. Because I know sometimes on Sundays, people, maybe either you have family stuff or, you've got, church or just whatever it is you have going on. And it kind of makes sense to jump in on Monday anyways. And then we can talk about the whole weekend, right? Instead of jumping on Sunday morning, we're just kind of talking about, usually it's just a roundup of the week. So yeah, guys, just let me know. What's happening, Cody? Great to see you in the chat. I saw that you are going to be on Flet's Movies and Pop Culture here coming up tomorrow, I believe. That's awesome. You guys are talking final chapter, Friday the 13th final chapter. If I remember correctly, I've got my notifications set because I don't think I've ever seen you on a stream, Cody. I didn't know that you participated or, anything like that. So really cool to see you jumping in on something like that. I want to bring you on, the channel over here sometime, even if late night with the Davey doesn't work with your schedule, we can find something. So just let me know and we can put together a cool topic. Oh, Medley Man was actually able to make the stream. Yes, there we go. We got Foz Rotten in the chat. My Movie Punks cohort, Foz Rotten. We're going to talk a little bit about that Movie Punks. And if you guys happen to miss that episode of Movie Punks, you can catch it. There's a description link in the description below. So you can go ahead and just click on that once you're done here. We talk about Return of the Living Dead for about 2 hours. And then, in typical Movie Punks, well, in typical any stream on YouTube fashion, like you're going to end up talking about some random stuff that's off topic. That's just the way we are. We like to keep things, conversational and not too polished here on the Davey Deathray channel, as I'm sure you guys know. We got Gene Whitacombe in the chat. How are you doing, Gene? Great to see ya. Gory Tiger saying what's up. All right, there we go. Adam Marcus is cool. I've never had met him, but I think there's certain things that work with Jason Goes to Hell for me. I think the biggest thing, the music is the biggest detractor for me. But given the assignment that he was put to task with, there's certain things about Jason Goes to Hell that really work for me. And I guess that's just what's going to happen when you're like 22 years old or something like that, and you're making, the ninth movie in this epic franchise. Like, it's just what a tough job. I can only imagine. Foz says, do you think Freddy versus Jason is more of a Freddy movie or a Jason movie? I always thought it felt more Nightmare than Friday the 13th. Yeah, I think it definitely does. I think Jason is pretty much just like a pawn in that movie. So yeah, definitely more. Anytime Freddy's getting in people's dreams, even if Jason's walking around killing people, it's always going to feel more Nightmare to me, because that's an element that doesn't really exist, outside of Freddy, at least that I know of. And we got Mud Nelson in the chat. What's happening, Gavin? Great to see you, my guy. Great to see you. Cody said, everyone's saying what's up to each other. This is excellent. I love it. And we got Aaron Click in the house with his cute little kitty pic. And Matt Facci, what's poppin'? Davey Sexy, Arizona Stud Muffin, Death Ray. That's a mouthful, Matt. And so am I. Oh, we have fun here. Great to see you, Matt. Thanks for hopping in. Matt and I, I'm sure I talked about it on previous episodes or had mentioned it, that Matt and I are putting together a whole show called Start Bench Cut that we're going to be bringing to your eyes and ears here next week. I don't know. Matt, let me know if you're still on for Monday the 22nd. We'll jump on. It'll be like once a month or something like that. We'll do Start Bench Cut. And the really cool thing is Matt and I are going to prepare some Start Bench Cut topics for each other, but we really want you guys to get involved. So, I'll post what we'll do is after the stream tonight, I'll create a link for it and everything. I can share that link and I'll do like a poll on my socials, and I'll have Matt do the same thing. I think it's going to stream on both of our channels. So that way we just cast the widest net and, everyone can come check it out. But yeah, we want you guys to give your input for Start Bench Cut. Maybe we'll pick like general topics. That way you guys kind of have a direction to go. Or it could just be a total free for all, right? Start Bench Cut, total free for all. I think that would be pretty fun. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. If Matt is still on board, then it'll be next Monday, the 22nd. Cody said, I've been on Slaughtered Lamb trivia. Okay, awesome, man. I must have missed that one, or maybe, I don't know. I must have missed that one. I'll have to go check it out for sure. All right, saying what's up. I love it. Let's see here. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone. And Matt confirms Monday the 22nd works. I'll probably hit that up here later on as we chit chat too. Just want to say what's up to everyone. Nicholas McMath. Hey, Davey, how are you doing today, man? And there are 11 likes so far. Thank you so much for being on Like Watch, Nicholas McMath. Really appreciate that. I am doing so much better than yesterday. I was an absolute wreck yesterday. And of course, still trying to push myself because, it's like when you have a day off, the last thing you want to, like, even if you feel bad on a day off, you're like, this is my day off. Like, I need to get something out of this day for me, for my family. So, did as many chores as I could do early on in the day, worked on some thumbnails and stuff for the channel that was, relatively easy to do. And then, rewatched Intruder with Kate. We'll get to that here in a bit. We got Allie Girl in the chat. What's happening, Allie? So great to see you, miss. I know you're looking forward to your vacation coming up. That Bronson, Missouri thing is really big for folks in the middle of the country. I feel like it's a place I've never been to, but a place like a vacation destination that I've seen so many people talk about going to. Is there something like in particular there? Is it like, does the Mississippi like run through there? Is there a whole bunch of great camping, or is there some sort of like regional theme park that I don't know of, or like something really cool? I'm completely ignorant and truthfully curious. All right. Gavin says, yes, a Death Ray / Facci collab would be great. Matt is how I found you, Davey. That's awesome. Yeah, Matt has been I mean, gosh, guys, if you're not subbed over there, I don't know how you found your way over here. Matt has been such a great supporter of the channel, such a sweet guy to me personally. All the fun joking aside, as far as calling me sexy all the time. Hey, I really appreciate that. But talking about the channel and encouraging people to come over when he's on his live stream, I just think it's one of the most generous things that a content creator can do is, when it's their time and it's their platform and everything to, throw a line out there for someone else. So Matt's been that way to me since the very beginning, especially since I started going live and kind of putting myself out there. So that's awesome, Gavin. I've seen so many people coming in, either through Matt mentioning me, the Slaughtered Lamb mentioning me. I was just on Planet CHH by surprise the other night. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And that was really cool because people reached out and were like, I saw comments about like, hey, who's this Davey guy? He seems kind of cool or whatever, Barry from Wolfman's Got Nards. All those guys have been instrumental in bringing you guys here to the channel. Because if it was just me chatting in Dave McRae's live chat, trying to get people to come over here, I'd probably still be at about like 20 subs. So really appreciate the support from the whole community. Everything works in Jason Goes to Hell if you consider it an alternate universe. I suppose so. If it's its own thing, yeah, for sure. I don't think of it that way, but I totally get it. Oh, sweet, Cody. Yeah, I guess maybe we talked about that a little bit at H45, and I just had like foggy brain from, how it is sometimes when you're at a convention, you're meeting all these new people, you're so excited. I'm like JoJo, the idiot circus boy. Or sometimes, I used to get this way when I would go to record stores as a kid because, we had an independent record store in my hometown, but when I would travel to like Seattle or wherever, and you go to a record store where you can actually there's everything in there, I used to get so excited. I'd get like a nervous stomach and like forget what I was looking for. Hilarious. But yeah, man, we'll have to have you on for sure. Let's see here. Okay, I'll look that one up, Cody. Thank you for clarifying there. And we got Mel from My Killer Podcast in the chat. What's happening, Mel? This might be the first time, maybe the first time I've seen you in the chat here. I could be wrong, but awesome to see you popping in. I really dig what you do over there at My Killer Podcast. Guys, if you're not subbed over at Mel's channel, My Killer Podcast, please go check it out. I'm sure you most likely already are. And if you aren't, you've probably seen her because she's part of that whole Rad Pack crew. So, if you haven't gone to her channel exclusively, you've seen her somewhere. So go over there and give her a sub if you haven't yet. There's room for everyone. The pie is big enough on YouTube, right? Because there's always a time of the week, usually at least once a day, where I'm like reloading my phone because YouTube's just suggesting the same old shit. And I'm looking for something that's like kind of new and different. I've told you guys a lot. I watch so many different kind of things on YouTube. It's like sports, politics, movies, horror, video games. I'm all over the place. So sometimes I miss stuff that I would be really interested in just because. So yeah, you never know what you're missing out there. Let's see here. Who else we got? Allie says there's a big theme park called Silver Dollar City, camping and live shows. Okay, so Bronson, Missouri sounds like it really goes down. That's cool. Okay, that's great. Nice little destination for the folks smack dab there in the middle of the country, whether they be north or south. I'm guessing Bronson, Missouri is probably like right in the middle between the north and the south. And we got Ashton Luck in the chat. What's happening, Ashton? Great to see you, my guy. Great to see you. There it is, Allie. There's someone for everyone at Branson. Is it? Yeah, okay, yeah. It's very family friendly. Someone for everyone. Oh, now are you looking for someone when you're there? Just pictures, or it didn't happen, Allie. That's all I'm saying. Can you put all these guys in a link in the description? Yeah, I definitely can. We'll kind of get into that. I think what I'll do here, Medley Man, is I'll run through like the news as far as like, the collaborations I've been a part of lately, all the stuff that you can check out that's already in the description below, because I have a whole bunch of stuff linked down there. So yeah, we'll go ahead and hit that up, and then we'll jump over there into our Friday the 13th franchise ranking. actually, no, it's a tier maker franchise ranking. Even better, because I already did my, you guys, if you haven't seen it already, you can hop on over to the videos on my channel. I put together, I think I'm only like 50 views away from 1,000 on this one, which is, for my little tiny channel, a big deal for me. So you can check out like my numbered ranking on the channel. It was a pre-recorded video I did. This tier maker one, we're just kind of comparing them to one another. And of course, I always ask for your guys' input on these. So it's really fun to kind of do them together. Of course, I might take it to where like I feel like I've got 75% of the sway, you guys have 25%, but that 25% will creep in if I'm on the fence about something. So yeah, it's always fun to play around with. Nicholas says politics are boring. I hear about them too much in my own home. Yeah, I hear you. You should never be forced to listen to politics. It's sort of like when people talk about their religions, you shouldn't ever be like forced. I think it can be really stimulating conversation as long as, people have a relatively open mind and can have civil discussion and all of that stuff. I guess what I'm saying, Nicholas, is sometimes on YouTube, I just search out certain sources that either I trust or I know what I'm getting from them. So, I find politics interesting because they're a part of our lives, whether we like it or not, really. So I do find them interesting, but obviously here on the channel, we don't really get political or anything, other than hardline stances about film opinions. We definitely will get there for sure. So yeah, guys, let's see here. Looks like I've said what's up to everyone here. Gavin says my cashier almost cried yesterday when he found out about Trump. Yeah, I mean, that whole thing was pretty crazy. Barry and I were on our live stream over on his channel, Wolfman's Got Nards. We were doing our, speaking of civil discussions or civil arguments, we were talking about H2O. Barry's a huge fan. I'm pretty lukewarm on it. So it was like a point counterpoint discussion on H2O, just kind of talking about why I don't think it's anywhere near, top 5 or, I mean, for me, it's like middle end of my ranking. And yeah, that all happened like in the middle of our stream. I saw a comment come up and I tried not to pay attention to it because I'm just like, well, what can we really do? It's like we're in the middle of this stream, but it is wild anytime something like that happens. Not something that, I would necessarily cry over, but something that's, pretty shocking, whenever something like that happens for sure. Maybe Medley Man. Yeah, again, not gonna dive too much into the political thing here. I guess as political as I'll get on this subject is, like in our country, in a representative democracy or republic, whatever you want to call it, it's really important that like the people should be able to have their will, not have like an obstacle in front of their will when it comes to voting. And so whenever somebody tries to be politically violent or, use violence as a way to either make somebody scared to vote one way or the other, anything like that, I feel like that's an attempt to like circumvent our rights. So no matter like which candidate you like or whatever, I feel like all the candidates should be able to run that race, let the people decide, let the chips fall where they may, and that it's not, the job of any individual person to try to take one of those people out of the running with something like violence. So, without getting into who I like and who I don't like, I don't want to see anybody, regardless of my opinion on them, anyone that's running for president get killed in the middle of that race. It's just, to me, it circumvents and undermines our system that we have here and the will of the people. So, all right, off the soapbox. Hopefully I didn't piss anyone off there. Here we go, guys. Let's talk about what's been going on the channel lately. So as you guys all know, I am a producer on Gotham Noir. Gotham Noir is a feature-length fan film. It's a Batman horror film that takes place in the early 1900s. So, you kind of have a little Gotham by Gaslight kind of feel, a little steampunky kind of look going on. There is a link in the description to our Kickstarter. And on the Kickstarter, you can find, videos. There's been a couple featurettes about the stunt choreography for the fights. Chris Stanley, who is our Bruce Wayne and Batman, put together an amazing video on his Cosplay Chris channel going through, you know, the making of the cowl for Batman, which looks absolutely incredible. So yeah, we're really excited about this one. It is, you know, we haven't revealed anything like the villain or anything like that, but this is, you know, we're getting into sort of like, you know, Seven or Saw or like The Collector, like that kind of territory as far as the horror goes, mixed with a true detective Batman story, which I think is awesome. So this is going to be a Batman and a Gotham and a story like you have never seen before. Guys, if you haven't checked out the Kickstarter and haven't checked out all the promotional material and all of that, please go over to the site, the Kickstarter site, a link in the description below, and you can check that one out. Yeah, and I feel like I've talked about that like every time I've been online, so I'm not going to browbeat you guys too much, but I want to make sure we're talking about it because we only have a handful of days left as far as crowdfunding goes, and we could use all the support. Absolutely. And then let's see here. Movie Punks. I already mentioned this in the opening there, but yeah, Foz and I covered 1985's The Return of the Living Dead this last Friday. So that was a really great chat. We talked for about 2 hours. We cover pretty much everything in the movie. You know, we've got our topics that we hit up. We interact with you guys in the chat. So that is available for replay. I've got a link in the description below if you want to check that out. I would imagine most of you are fans of Return of the Living Dead because I don't know how you can like horror and not really like that movie. I mean, it's like, it's got to be one of the first horror comedies, right? Like, it's got to be at least one of the first. I mean, it's, I think, as far as I can think of right now, it's the first one like popping into my head. Maybe there was something before that, but I feel like that movie kind of kicked that off. And in the spirit of Movie Punks, you know, the whole idea is to cover a movie that has some sort of punk rock element, you know, or like a punk rock edge. And in the case of Return of the Living Dead, it's like everything about that movie is punk as fuck. So that was kind of an easy one to talk about in that regard. So it's yeah, it was a really fun episode. Foz and I are planning our next one right now. We just need to pick a date, and we are going to be covering Airheads from 1994, which, man, if you haven't seen that, it is an absolute classic. Classic you don't hear many people talk about, maybe, but a classic nonetheless. So I'm going to jump back over to the chat, make sure I'm not missing anything important here. Medley Man. Anyway, to change the subject, I've been watching Line of Duty, and it's really good. I have not heard of that. Is it a movie or a show or Nicholas, Gotham Noir? I don't think it's going to be as gory. It's definitely going to have those horror elements, and you are going to see some things that move into like the, you know, the bloody and all that kind of stuff. We're thinking, you know, it's going to be an R-rated film. You know, I mean, if it were rated by the Motion Picture Association of America or whatever, it would be getting an R rating. So I don't think there's going to be as much of like the hyper focus on the uncomfortably gory moments, but that's definitely going to be an element that's there. Medley Man says, my guess is Scarecrow, Professor Pig, or something more obscure like James Gordon Jr. Oh, that's a very, very, very interesting. I feel like you are circling some truth there, Medley Man. Good, good trio of guesses there. Hey, what's happening, Gina? We got my chunky Jordy in the chat. Love seeing Gina in the chat. Gavin is absolutely right. Airheads is a must watch. And luckily for me, you know, it came out when I was like 12. I didn't see the movie in the theater, but it hit like Comedy Central maybe like 3 or 4 years later. So as I'm in high school, oh, maybe a little bit later in that, like my later high school days, it was on Comedy Central. It felt like all the time. And one of those movies that like I would just, you know, every time it popped on, me and my friends would be like, oh, that's it. We're watching Airheads. Everyone sit down. Yeah, it's got an amazing cast. I mean, you know, Brendan Fraser, Steve Buscemi, and Adam Sandler are the stars. They're the Lone Rangers. But then you've got like Joe Mantegna, Michael McKean from Spinal Tap, and a whole bunch of great cameos and bit roles by actors like Chris Farley, David Arquette, Ernie Hudson is in there. Michael Richards, Kramer from Seinfeld is in there. So, I mean, this movie, Rob Zombie is in there because White Zombie is, they go to a white zombie show in the film. So there, it's just such a fun movie. It's one of those like perfect storm, like how awesome is it that all these people got to be in the same film, and it takes place like the main location of the film is the same spot where they shot Die Hard. So, it's funny, you recognize, once the police all show up at the radio station in Airheads, you realize, this looks kind of familiar, and it's very similar to the situation in Die Hard. Short TV show, 5 episodes. Okay, Line of Duty. All right, all right. Medley Man says, I'm gonna watch Long Legs in the theater soon. Yeah, man. I'd recommend it. I don't want to overhype Long Legs. You can check out, Kate and I did a review of it, non-spoiler. We don't even get close to talking about spoilers in there. And we did our best to just sort of like, tamp it down, just sort of like, the marketing was so good for Long Legs that it's almost like a disservice if you overhype it before somebody goes to see it, because really the marketing should kind of just like, do its thing and then let the film speak for itself. And I think that Long Legs is a fantastic movie. It was an immersive, haunting experience, and I've been thinking about it a lot since watching it. So I would recommend checking it out in the theater for sure. And then, I already can't wait to check it out in streaming, see what maybe I missed the first time around. And sometimes with movies like that are just, regardless of, where the story goes, any sort of movie that has like an element of mystery, it's always fun to watch it that second time, knowing everything or having seen everything and seen it all laid out. It's kind of cool to see what you miss, how you interpret certain things on a second viewing, knowing everything. So yeah, Long Legs, really, really fun. Jamie Hart is in the chat. What's happening, Jamie? Did you see Airheads in the theater? Let me know. Let me know. Trisha says, I'm actually scared to watch Long Legs. I'm going to, but I've heard pretty crazy things. I think you'll be okay, Trisha. I mean, grown adults, it's really difficult to truly scare a grown adult. But I think the movie's really effective at making you feel uneasy and all that stuff. Kate was reaching for my hand a whole bunch of times, like, hold me, hold me. So maybe bring somebody to the theater with you that you feel like you can snuggle up on or find solace in. So there you go. Nicholas says, Davey, The Boys is really good, just saying. And there are 17 likes right now. Boom, love it. Thank you for the like count, Nicholas. Really appreciate that. And yeah, I haven't seen The Boys yet. Haven't seen it. Gavin says, my dad showed me Airheads. Funny enough, my dad kind of looked like Adam Sandler at the time. And yes, it's the movie that started my white zombie obsession. I can totally understand that. It's really cool. I mean, Airheads, all the, so many careers that just like shot in so many different directions from that film. So really, really fun and interesting. And I don't want to say too much because I want to save it all for Movie Punks. Yeah. There it is, Jamie. Saw Airheads in the theater. Surprising. I know. Oh, you guys are great. Let's see here. Don't have to worry about overhyping Medley Man. There you go. That's great. That's a good way to approach it. I think just to not give into it, the hype, regardless of if it's out there. Gavin says, I see people saying the marketing overhyped it, and that's their only reasoning for not liking it. Yet they call every movie the best, scariest movie ever made in its commercial runs. Yeah. And I think I had heard that there was like a trailer that had just recently dropped within the last couple weeks. I just didn't happen to see it because I had already seen enough with the little creepy teasers and then the trailer they released a couple months ago. But I did hear that trailer kind of gave a little more away. And then, yeah, I mean, I've just gotten to the mode now. I'm in my early 40s where I'm just like, I'm not going to let myself get too excited. Sometimes it can be tough. Like it was tough with Evil Dead because I'm such a massive Evil Dead fan. So when Rise came out, I really did expect quite a bit because, we gotten such great quality from that franchise. But yeah, I think like as time goes on, I'm just like, just go into the movie, see if the teaser piques my interest. And if it does, I can go check it out in the theater and just let the film speak for itself. Yeah. Medley Man says, scariest thing I've seen is episode 5 of Attack on Titan. Scariest thing I've ever seen, Medley Man, is Star Wars Episode 2. No, I'm just joking. Just scary, boring. Can boring be scary? And then let's jump into our next topic here. There we go. How are you guys doing on this Monday? Let me know in the chat. Let me know. I know we all said hello to each other, but I just want to know how you're doing. Yeah, I guess I could just touch on this really quick. I kind of did earlier. There is a link in the description below for the live stream I did with Barry over at Wolfman's Got Nards this past Saturday. We talked about H2O. If you guys know Barry, you know he's a massive H2O fan. It's his second favorite film in the franchise. He thinks he says it's the best sequel. And, I've known that for such a long time. I've been watching Barry since I don't know, 2016, 2017, something like that. And so I've known that for a long time, and we agree on most things, which is, one of the reasons why I love his channel so much. So it was really cool to take this approach where we're like, let's have a spirited debate, but let's do it, in the antithesis of the internet debate. Let's do it in a respectful way and have some thoughtful counterpoints for H2O and talk some positives and some negatives. And it was really cool because, I was like, well, I wonder how much pushback Barry will give me. Because if you guys see his posts and everything online, he's very matter of fact kind of thing with his opinions. And so I was like, oh, am I going to get Barry to budge at all? And it was really cool. I'm not going to spoil any moments or anything like that, but it was a really, really fun chat to have with him, a great debate. And, you can still watch that live chat too if you watch the replay, so you can see people from the chat chiming in. And it was a really good time. I'm looking forward to going back to his channel to talk Scream on his other podcast. I'm totally blanking on the name right now, but I'll let you guys know when that is planned. And that'll probably be, I don't know, probably sometime this fall or something like that. And then, yeah, guys, real quick, of course, we've got Late Night with the Davey coming back. This week, I've got Mark from Tales from the Shelf coming on to the show. Yeah, he actually reached out to me and he was like, hey, man, I really, I'm digging what you're doing. If you ever need a guest or anything like that. And it was perfect timing because I was really in a pinch, guys. As of yesterday, I did not have a guest for Late Night with the Davey. That's really close. I usually try to book these out a couple weeks in advance just so I don't have to worry about it. Peace of mind is massively important. It kind of helps you focus on all the other things that you need to do in your life. So, it was just an odd spot I was in yesterday. So, it was like they say in Halloween, it was fate that put Mark in my sights, or I guess put me in his sights. And yeah, reached out. We were able to put it together really quick. And he'll be jumping on Late Night with the Davey this Wednesday live at 10 p.m. Eastern. Just from, the videos I've watched on his channel, I really want to talk about, he has a really cool video on why TV is not as good now as it was, say, 20, 25 years ago. Just how streaming has kind of changed television for the worse. And then I really dug that video because you guys know how I feel about TV. We have totally different reasons why we think TV is in a bad spot right now. So it'll be really cool to kind of put those together, see if he agrees with me, let him know how I feel about, his thoughts on that video. And then of course we'll just probably, we'll talk horror movies, we'll talk film in general. It'll be really cool. And, I don't really know Mark, so a lot of times on Late Night with the Davey, it's a great opportunity for me to get to know these folks. And if you guys aren't familiar with them, you can check out their channel and you can get to know them a bit too, which is pretty cool. I think that's kind of the spirit behind the whole thing, right? I know, I used to talk about it a lot, and now that I'm streaming so much and bouncing all over the place, I don't always get to mention it. But the reason why I'm here, guys, it's not because I think this is going to be my job within a year. I'm here because being creative makes me feel good mentally. It keeps my mental health in tip-top shape. And if other stuff is going on in my life, it keeps my mental health like from teetering off into, the worst part of mental health. So, creating content and just being creative does that for me. And man, the icing on the cake is that you guys actually show up and support the channel. You jump in the chat, you hang out, you get to know each other. You bounce around, you support the people that I bring on here. The reason why you found me is because of people that have supported this channel. So it's this really great community we have here. And people talk about a vicious cycle, but this is a lovely cycle. So yeah, guys, I'm really looking forward to getting to know Mark and you guys getting to know him as well. I think he's sitting just north of 1,000 subs, so he's ahead of me in that sub count. And I'm always really grateful of folks, regardless of where they're at in their subs, just that they would take some time out of their day and come on the show. No one owes me a damn thing. So there you go. Let's see here. Medley Man says, you will never hear the end of the bullshit reasons people hate The Boys season 4. Trisha says, I watched it. It was so good. I love hearing praise for a favorite of mine, although I did agree with you on the music. Which one were we talking about here? Were we talking about, is it The Boys, or were we talking about something else there? Not Long Legs, right? I might have missed it. I'm so sorry, Trisha. Oh, Jamie, feeling a bit under the weather. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I was just saying that I wasn't feeling so hot yesterday. I got this weird like earache with my left ear that's just being a pain in the butt. I'm sorry you're not feeling so hot. Hopefully, you get a little rest and start feeling more like yourself here later on this evening or early tomorrow. Sometimes a good night's sleep can make all the difference in the world, right? Medley Man says The Boys is one of the few TV shows that Davey Deathray, notorious TV show hater, Davey Deathray, notorious TV show hater, would probably love. Yeah, I think with me, sometimes TV just kind of drones on for way too long. Like honestly, I'd probably rather watch The Boys if it were just in movie form. I guess, whatever. Well, Davey, my Monday has been good so far, but it's 99 degrees outside. Let me check the temp here in Phoenix. It feels like 111 right now here in Goodyear, Arizona. That's wild, man. It's been so hot. But luckily yesterday we got some rain and some amazing thunder and lightning. It was awesome. All right. Gavin says Mark is cool. Fellow South Jersey boy, I believe. Excellent. I love my Jersey folks. Brought it up a couple times here. Lifetime from New Brunswick, New Jersey is my favorite band of all time. I love those guys. Hearing punk rock from New Jersey totally changed the way that I looked at, the way songs could be structured and how exciting and not repetitive a great song could be. So it sort of gave me this whole new perspective on music and on punk rock. So I'll always have a soft spot for Jersey. Plus Adventures of Pete and Pete was filmed there. So there's that too. Central Jersey, South Jersey, ¿cuál es la diferencia? No. Scream is Trisha's favorite. There it is. Yeah, look forward to that one, Trisha. If you're not subbed over at Barry's channel, go ahead and give him a sub. He's floating at around 84,000. I think he's going to be at 100 by Christmas. He doesn't think so, but we'll see. We got some love going out to Jamie here. Absolutely. We gotta lift each other up and be supportive and sweet to one another, especially when we're not feeling well. Yeah, Jamie, hope you feel better soon. And Medley Man says, you said your gripes were about there being more interesting things than that. Not so much at the beginning, middle. Yep, but there's very rarely a dull moment in The Boys. That's great. Yeah, it's got to be good, right? Because it just keeps on going. And it seems like the people that love it really love it. Seems like it kind of picked up, the torch that Game of Thrones, put down. Just that crowd that's just very obsessive about it and everything. Yeah. There we go. Even Nicholas is chiming in, and we got Mel jumping in there as well. Absolutely. Yep. Of course. We got you, boo. And then moving on to our next little bit to cover here. Do. So coming up, guys, of course, working on upcoming can I talk? Working on upcoming pre-recorded material. Kate and I watched Intruder for a second time yesterday. Really had a fun time with it that second time. You know, like I said, once you already know what's going to happen, it's almost like a whole new experience. That second time, you're able to really, you know, soak it all in and not having to think as much, I guess, or trying to figure out what's what. That is for Gavin's birthday, which, oh my gosh, was like a month and a half ago. I believe it was June 1st. Gavin, correct me if I'm wrong. And just with everything going on in my life, kept on getting pushed back. But once I'm done with this stream and Kate's home from work, we're jumping right in here. We're going to shoot that review. We're going to get it on the Patreon here later tonight is my goal. And then it should be dropping on YouTube by Thursday, I believe. So we'll do Late Night with the Davey on Wednesday. That vid will drop on Thursday. I'm also working on my Child's Play franchise ranking video. And I am doing another. If you guys have been here since the beginning, my third video was one of the Rad Pack 9 Rad 9 challenges. It was the Rad 9 movies that made me. It was my third video. My first two videos were just on my phone. I think this one might have been on my phone too, but I got a little microphone for it, so it was a little bit better. But way early days, I'm probably wearing this shirt in that video. And so they just did, they put out another challenge that's the Rad 9 1994 films. So, you know, I picked 9 films from 1994 that, you know, either like really important to me, keep on coming back in my life, or just when I look through that year of film, those are the ones that really stick out to me. So really looking forward to that. That should be a pretty quick vid to put together, kind of like my franchise ranking video. I'll just talk, you know, a couple minutes about each film, and that'll be that. So that's what I've got for pre-recorded material coming up. I also have a Bride of Chucky movie review that I'm doing for Antonis. So I've got that lined up as well. So yeah, guys, a whole bunch of stuff coming your way. In addition to those, I'm going to be working on an Evil Dead and Halloween ranking videos and covering those films in sort of like a review retrospective. I mean, there's really no point in like reviewing like the Halloween movies or Evil Dead, but I do want to talk about each one. So I guess in a way, it's kind of going to be a review, even though it's going to just sort of be probably more like this stream of consciousness discussion about these movies that have just been so important in my life for a really long time. So yeah, let me see what you guys are chit-chatting about here. More love for Jamie. Love seeing that. All right. June 2nd. Thank you for correcting me there, Gavin. So yeah, it's been a while. It's been about 6 weeks. So yeah, Gavin's been so awesome and patient, really cool. We were talking earlier today and he's like, it's not like you owe me anything. And it's like, well, like in a sense, you know, I feel like I do owe all of you guys something in a way, because, you know, you guys come here and support the channel and everything and hang out with me. I feel like you guys are my friends. So, you know, not like you ever owe your friends, but it's like you owe them a good reciprocal relationship and good friendship. Right. So, you know, having to put this off was not ideal, but I'm glad we got to watch it a second time. It's going to be super fresh. And it will be a great review for you, man. Oh, there you go, Trisha. Halloween H2O. Okay, I got you. Yeah, we're right on the same page there. Just started Curse of Chucky, and it's probably a bottom 3. Yeah, I don't know. I think I like Curse more than some of the others there in the middle in the run. We'll see. I don't want to give it away right now, because I am putting together that ranking video, but I do enjoy Curse quite a bit, right? Curse was the second to last one. It was Cult that was the last one, I think. It was a Patreon request though, people. Davey, be careful. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and you know what, guys, like as the channel goes on with how busy I've been with collabs and all that kind of fun stuff, like, movie reviews, it might turn into something where like, maybe during the roundup, instead of like just talking about everything I've done on the channel, the roundup may turn into like, this is what I watched this week. And it just might be like kind of casual reviews. There are so many people on YouTube that do movie reviews. And there's so many people that do horror, so many people that just kind of cover it all. They're really good at what they do. I don't know if I can or want to compete with something like that. I feel like, the live game interacting with you guys is a great way to get those opinions and feelings out about film. And then, sometimes sitting down to do a pre-recorded video, covering a movie, it can feel like you can feel a little more pressure because you're like, I don't want to leave anything out. I have to be perfect, all that kind of stuff. So sometimes it's fun to just hop on here with you guys and say, hey, we watched Jaws 3 this weekend and did a watch along and it was really fun. This movie is blah, 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 blah. And just, kind of casually go through it like that. Boom, Nicholas. Watch. Thank you so much. 22 likes. You guys are amazing. Allie says, you have been a busy guy, Davey. How are Kate and the kitties? They are awesome. The kitties are doing really well. Kate is doing fantastic. She is really loving her new jobs. She switched offices a few months ago, and she's having a great experience at her new office. So that's awesome. She works a little further away than where she used to work, but got a pay raise and seems to be a better cultural fit for her. So that's great. And yesterday we were like doing house cleaning and stuff. I was doing as much as I could with my wonky ear. But it was a fun day of, vacuuming up all that kitty hair and, throwing away some of their old ass toys. All right. Child's Play remake is as underrated as people say Child's Play 3 is. All right. Yeah, I need to give the remake another watch before I finish that ranking, just to give it the fairest shake I can. Gene says, I've seen every Child's Play movie except for the remake. Was not interested. Yeah, I hear you on that one, Gene. I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and watch it though. I'll let you know. I'll be like, Gene, you should watch it. Or Gene, stay away. It is great news, Allie. Yes. Yeah, for a while there at the end of her time with her previous office, I think it was sort of, all the work stuff was like seeping into the rest of her life, which is a really difficult thing to have happen unless you've got like a ridiculously like high level kind of like security sort of job or something like that. I understand like sometimes certain police officers, you have to bring work home with you or what have you. But for the line of work that Kate's in, it's like there was no reason for that to like seep in and like, ruin any bit of her time away from work. So I'm really happy for her. Absolutely. Happy wife, happy life. Let's see what else we have here. So yeah, guys, there's a couple other things I wanted to cover. So last weekend, a week ago from this previous Saturday, Foz Rotten and I from Movie Punks, we appeared on Born to Be Rad's channel with Garrett over there and with Cody from Dude Who Loves Movies. So it was like a rad dudes versus Movie Punks episode. We talk about the best high school thrillers. And it's like, I think somebody called him something else, hallway thriller or something like that I saw in the comments on one of these streams. And so, yeah, these movies from like mostly from the 80s that have like, there's some sort of gang element in school, some sort of dangerous element, maybe even like a teacher or an administrator has to like, strap on their boots and like kick some ass, like in a movie like 187 or The Substitute or The Principal with Jim Belushi. So we cover all these movies. I think we cover like 12 or 13 films. There is a link in the description below. We are like 11 views from hitting 1,000 on that one. So if you guys haven't checked it out, or even if you have, go ahead, click that link, check out that vid again. Let's throw Garrett some love there. If you're not already subbed to Born to Be Rad and you're a film lover or you're a physical media lover or you just like people with great personalities, you got to go over there and sub. I'd be surprised if you aren't already. I think Garrett just hit 8,000 last week. So yeah, let's go ahead and pump up that best high school thrillers vid, get it past that 1,000 mark, and maybe you'll see Foz and I on Born to Be Rad sometime again in the future. And then another crazy thing happened on Friday night. I was like, sitting on the computer, some TV show in the background, working on stuff for the channel. I'm always working on like either editing or making a thumbnail or something like that, or sometimes even just, coordinating with another content creator about something that we want to put together. And I saw, Christian and Brandon went live on Planet Dirty. They were doing like a, late night kind of thing. It was like 11:30 or something like that. My time out here in Arizona. And I saw them on there. I said, "What's up?" And Christian, he had mentioned it when he was on Late Night with the Davey. He did say, "Hey man, if you're ever like up and we're doing like a Planet Dirty or something and you say what's up in the chat, like, feel free to come on in." So he's like in the middle of the stream, he's like, "Yeah, Davey, feel free to hop on, man, if you want." So I was like, shit. All right. Well, I ain't saying no to that. Christian is an awesome dude. I absolutely love his channel. He is incredibly, he's like an inspiration for content creators because the guy just churns out so much great content. And I don't think I could ever keep up with that pace, but it is awesome to know that that pace is possible. It makes me feel like, dude, you've got no excuse to at least be putting out a few things a week, whatever, like you got to do something. Cause I think Christian does like at least a video and a couple shorts every day. And I know he does like bulk recordings. You guys can check out my interview with him over on the main videos tab if you just want to watch the interview, or you can go over to the live if you want to catch that whole episode of Late Night with the Davey. But yeah, I told Christian I could be ready in a few minutes, set everything up. He sent me the StreamYard link. And I linked this stream in the description below as well. I jump in there right around like the 42-minute mark. So if you guys are interested or haven't seen it and you just, want to say, "Hey, look, there's Davey," or you just want to see what we chat about, because we talk about like everything: movies, fast food, soda, workout habits, whatever. So it was a really fun time doing that. And then I am going to appear on Flet's Movies and Pop Culture 13 here. That'll be next Sunday. We're going to go live. It'll be Sunday in like the afternoon. So I'll do my regular like kind of roundup thing. And then I'll be hopping over there after. And Kyle Curtis and I are going to be talking about our top 10 scariest moments in horror. So I'm really excited to do that. I'm probably going to take some things that are even from like my childhood. I'm not going to think like what's scariest to me now. It'll be like, what are the things that have stood out to me throughout my entire existence that really freaked the hell out of me? Like whether or not it's like in the old TV show V from the early 80s when they would like rip their fake skin off and it was like reptilian people underneath. Like that freaked the hell out of me as a kid. I loved it, but it freaked the hell out of me. And so that moment may be in there, but just going even, early 80s all the way up till now, like who knows, maybe a little long legs action will be in there. You never know. But I do have a link in the description below for that live stream as well. So you can click that link and set a notification so you don't miss out. That will be on Flet's Movies and Pop Culture 13. That will be on that channel, not over here on the Davey Death Ray channel. So make sure you set that notification bell. Throw Flet a subscribe if you haven't yet, if you want to keep up on that content. And I think that's all I've got for you guys as far as shows. I did mention Start Bench Cut earlier when Fatchy jumped into the chat. So yeah, guys, once a month, Matt Fatchy and I are going to jump on here for about an hour or so, and we are going to do a whole Start Bench Cut show. We're going to bring some rounds of Start Bench Cut for each other so we can throw those rounds at each other and just kind of see what we're feeling there. And then we want to get you guys involved. I think that'll be the most fun thing about this show, is not only do we want you involved in the chat as far as chiming in and answering the Start Bench Cuts that we propose to one another, but also I'll drop a little, like a community link or a post and a poll, not a poll, but just a post where you guys can, jump into the comments section. You can give your own, items that you want to see put through start, bench, cut. Usually you pick things that are like kind of related, but I mean, there's no rules here. You guys can just like kind of fly off the handle if you want. So it could be snack food, movies, TV shows, characters, songs. I'm trying to think of what else. Movie franchises, slasher villains, whatever. Maybe not politicians, just so we can stay away from stuff like that. But all sorts of fun stuff. So yeah, we want to get you guys involved in that regard. I'm really looking forward to that. Our first episode is going to be next Monday. So I will be sharing that once I hop off this stream. I'm going to get that all lined up in StreamYard and share that so you guys can set the notification and so you can drop in your own start, bench, cut items. And yeah, I want to jump back into the chat, catch up with you guys, and then we're going to jump into our tier ranking of the Friday the 13th franchise. How about it? I keep on sinking in my seat. What the hell is going on? All right. How many of you guys dropped into our Jaws 3 watch along the other day? Because I was doing a whole bunch of ridiculous voices over there. Let's see here. All right, I think we're caught up. Davey, I know it's an unpopular opinion, but Child's Play 2 is one of my least favorite Chucky movies, mostly because of the adoptive father who always pisses me off. Yeah, at least he gets his comeuppance. I really love Child's Play 2, but I do think that the foster parents or the adoptive parents are pretty weak characters for sure. Stone Gassman. I don't know if I've seen you in a chat before, Stone. Is this your first time hopping into a chat on one of my live streams? Let me know. Stone says, executed audio commentaries on all Child's Play movies, and the remake is definitely on the bottom of the ranking. It just didn't work, and I don't get why people like Aubrey Plaza. I don't really get the Aubrey Plaza thing either. She seems just like disinterested every time I see her in everything. She's very flat. Just like the way she says things and the looks she gives. It's just very like, I'm an unimpressed girl. It's sort of like if Daria were a person, it would be Aubrey Plaza. Yeah, I mean, I think Child's Play 2, I don't know. I'm not going to get into it because I'm going to do my own ranking, so I don't want to spoil that for you guys. C to Chucky, there we go. All right. Oh, underrated. Yeah, no worries, Stone. I gotcha. What's happening, Chad? Great to see you in the chat. Hope you're having a great week thus far. I think the requested reviews being a perk of the Patreon members will keep it special, and it won't take over your entire channel. That's the way to go, Gavin. Yeah. And even, who knows what's going to happen with the Patreon. I'm getting closer and closer to unlocking YouTube membership. So maybe I'll kind of switch it over to YouTube membership, and then the members, each member can request a review like once a year or something like that. Who knows? I don't know what's going to happen with the channel. I don't have a crystal ball. I mean, I would love for the channel to just pop off, but I'm going to play it pretty chill. YouTube is kind of a, it's the slow and steady kind of thing. It's just, for me, it's more about, like I was saying, that the satisfaction of the creativity, is worth it in and of itself. Top 4 Chucky movies are supreme. You guys are getting all this Chucky talk. Here we go. I'll skip a little bit of the Chucky talk because I'm working on that ranking. So there you go. Speaking of Jim Belushi, he's in the movie I'm currently watching right now, Michael Mann's Thief. I don't know if I've even heard of that movie, Gavin. I've totally missed it. I really loved him in back in the 80s. He was in, I think it was 80s or early 90s, Mr. Destiny. And then Taking Care of Business. That's a really fun one with Charles Grodin. Really, really fun stuff. There we go. Ed Woods, Glenn or Glenda. Yeah. Yeah, totally going for the Ed Wood thing. Yeah. I like that. I like that approach there. I like, Ed Wood's movies aren't good, but God bless him for, making all the movies he did. It's pretty wild. So yeah, guys, I think we're ready to hop on over to the Friday the 13th tier maker franchise ranking, because we are getting into some deep Child's Play talk here as I go. I was there and no one actually watched Jaws 3D. False advertisement. Hey, we were watching it. I mean, we were talking about pretty much I mean, I was trying to keep us on task at certain points. Yeah, but Jaws 3, I mean, oh my gosh, it's pretty rough. In Dallas at a concert. Who did you go see, Allie? Just watched Plaza in Mike and Dave last night. She's very deadpan. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if I thought she was like more physically attractive or something like that, maybe I'd give her a pass on the deadpan thing, but I don't really, doesn't really work for me. There you go. Gavin's got it straight up. That should be on a shirt. She should just have a shirt that says hot and cunty. I'd probably like her a little bit more if I saw her wearing a shirt like that. The C word just doesn't get enough love here in the United States. There we go. Stone Gassman says, I've known Planet CHH for years as we did Region Free together. We're doing season 4 now. Hell yeah. I thought that I had recognized, recognized the name. I don't think I had seen you in the chat here. So, man, welcome to the chat. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm still just kind of getting to know Christian a little bit, as he appeared on Late Night with the Davey that one time, but he has been so friendly and supportive and awesome. Seems like, a genuinely cool dude. And every time I watch one of his videos, it's like going over to a friend's house after school and just kicking it and looking at all their cool shit. I really enjoy his stuff. Aaron Click, because Aubrey Plaza seems like the type who would do naughty things. I don't know why I read it like that, but that's how I read it in my head, so I wanted you to know. I've not actually seen either of the Bad Jaws movies. Yeah. Part 3 makes Revenge look pretty damn good. Also, Born to Be Rad did an audio commentary on my channel for Cloak and Dagger. That's really cool. Just don't chat much. Yeah, Garrett is a busy dude. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, Gavin. Hey, you know what? It's funny that you brought that up. That movie just might make an appearance on my Rad 9 1994 flicks. Yeah, let's jump on. Yeah, Aaron likes my British accent there. Yeah, let's jump on over to the franchise tier ranking. Let's see here. Let me grab that. So I'm going to grab that. And then let me present my screen. Here we go. All right, guys. Everybody see everything okay? Are we all cool? Is Medley Man ready to start telling me I'm wrong on all these? Or Gavin, I hope I don't make you call the police this time. That's just my dream here. Allie went and saw The Strike. All right. I don't even know who they are. I'll have to give them a listen. Present yourself to us. Oh yeah. Part 1 is Halloween 5 tier. Oh my gosh. See, I already knew it with Medley Man. You scamp. This is great. People are throwing down. There's like, I'm a purist. This is great. I'm a purist, so I'm sure I'll be in the minority on the original Friday the 13th. Yeah, we'll see. This will be fun, guys. I struggled with the names of these categories. I knew right away my special boy, and look at what you did to him. I knew exactly where I wanted to put those. I just didn't know about the others. So I did Stupendous here for second. Because the movie is going to be stupendous, like the titties in the Friday the 13th remake from 2009. Then I got Where's the Corkscrew as your middle tier, kind of like, what's missing from this film? Something seems to be missing. It's not great, it's not terrible, but it just ain't quite there. And then we got Joey's Candy Bar, which is almost at the bottom there. And then that is that. So yeah, guys, let's get this going. I think Friday the 13th, the original, I will put as stupendous. No, my special boy for me, because Jason's not really there. Also, it just seems like kind of a run-of-the-mill slasher and the whodunit element. I'm not clearly not the first person to say this, but the whodunit element ain't really a whodunit element because we don't even see the killer until the very end. So there's no way to like guess or try to do any sort of investigative work. So I think that the original belongs in Stupendous. I also don't think that I think it works as a film. I don't think where's the corkscrew is sort of like something's missing here. And I think the original works for me. It absolutely does. So let's see what you guys are saying. All right. 4 and 6 at the top. You're in the right. All right. Part 1 is mid, says Trisha. No Freddy versus Jason. Well, it'll just be, we'll see where it goes. Cause yeah, it's way more of a Nightmare on Elm Street kind of film. Original Friday the 13th is still the best one. It had the most mood and atmosphere. That is an interesting take. Yeah, you were absolutely right there. Absolutely right, Trisha. But even Aaron thinks that this is a fair spot for it. Gavin thinks it's Joey's Candy Bar. Oh, man. Stone says, fun fact, people forget that the original movie became a mega hit over Mother's Day weekend. Oh, yeah, it was in May, right? That's pretty awesome. Yeah, Jason is dead. DEA dead. Michael Myers is dead. Yes, because it makes sense. There we go. Okay. So we're being really very nice to the series. I guess it's a middle tier, but in no way is it Stupendous. Well, I'm sticking with Stupendous because everybody seems to be relatively on board with that one. And Nicholas, though, says the original is close to the bottom for me. Yeah, I think in my ranking, again, guys, check out my Friday the 13th franchise ranking where I just rank them. It's a numbered ranking. I think the original was number 5 on my ranking. So yeah, we'll see where we go next. All right, Friday the 13th part 2. Man, for me, every day of the friggin' week, this is my special boy. I think this sequel is excellent. I love the music. The Harry Manfredini score is exquisite. Kind of reminds me, it gives me those Psycho feels, those old like 60s thriller kind of feels. I love Sackhead Jason. I think Amy Steele, who plays Ginny here, is one of the best final girls in all of horrordom. And this movie just seems really, it just feels really fun to me. It also has one of my favorite shots of Jason where Amy Steele has ran into Jason's shack and she's like looking at kind of like, where the hell am I? Where do I go? Is there anyone here that can help me? And then behind her through the open window, you see Jason like running down the trail. I love that shot. To me, Friday the 13th Part 2 is one of the best horror sequels of all time and one of the best films in the franchise. So it's my special boy every day of the damn week. Let's see where we go. Part 2 is Where's the Toilet? Yeah, the gross toilet in Jason's shack. Yikes. Part 1 is Where's the Toilet? Oh my God. My chunky Gina's just ripping these apart. Part 2 is more entertaining, saying what's up to each other. I love it. Mud says Joey's Candy Bar again. Woo! Gavin, you need start your own channel. It would be great, dude. You've got hot takes and I know you've got reasons for them. So it would be really cool. I think a channel like yours, if you were ever inclined to do something like that, could be really, really fun. People love, like, I'm not much of a shit stirrer when it comes to like this kind of stuff. In my real life, I'm probably more of a shit stirrer than I am on YouTube. Stone says I've come around on part 2 on repeat viewings, but the first 10 minutes is still god awful in my opinion. Also, the baghead was never scary to me. Oh, it's entirely subjective. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's great that, I mean, acknowledging that I think is a big thing. Just like kind of knowing that, you know, the way you feel about something is just the way you feel. Yeah. And I get it. The first 10 minutes, you know, you could have just foregone that first 10 minutes for sure. I do think once the film gets going and everything, I like the characters. I like the kills. The nudity is top notch. Maybe some of the best in all of horror. Yep. And Trisha's already talking about part 3. The bar is really freaking high. Gene says, I have no problem with not seeing the killer until the end of the first one. Well, it just would have been cool to see her, like, even if she's just in the diner at the beginning, some sort of like, she doesn't need to be a character that we hear, like, that has dialogue and interacts or anything like that. But it would have been cool to see her just at least once before the final act. Part two is my special boy, says Jamie. All right. Aaron says it's stupendous. Okay. You can't not put it above the first one, but it's not my special boy. Yeah, I think it is. I'm feeling really good about having this one as my special boy. Shit stirrer. That's right, Allie. Yeah, I think like when I'm hanging out with a group of people and we're talking about like opinions on stuff, like if something like Superman Returns comes up, I love tearing into Superman Returns because it's a dreadfully bad movie and I can get like really into it on something like that. When it comes to horror, because I still enjoy the movies that like aren't good. Like for some reason, I still want to watch Jason Takes Manhattan once a year. I don't know. It's like, do I think I'm gonna get something different? I think it really is just like obviously the nostalgia. It's a comfort movie. A lot of these are comfort movies for me. They remind me of when I was young, and it's a little more like it's a bit of an escape. So I'll always go back and I'll be a shit stirrer about Superman Returns and Donnie Darko all the time. And we got Brooke Scarlett in the chat. What's happening, Brooke? Always great to see you, miss. Lovely, lovely. Stone says my favorite bit in part two is when Vicky's going up the stairs calling Mark's name despite his disability. Yeah, she kind of missed the mark on that one. Well, we should have a talk about that sometime, Allie, because yeah, that's a rough one. That's a really rough one. Love seeing all the love get spread around here. You guys are beautiful to one another. All right, guys, part 3, 3D. This one for me is where's the corkscrew? Where's the corkscrew? Yeah, it just seems like something is missing here. And I know Steve Miner directed part 2. He also directed part 3. And funnily enough, he directed H2O that which Barry and I talked about just this last weekend. I think in part 3, obviously the 3D effects, some of them work. The ones that don't work really, really don't work. And it seems like this movie goes out of its way to try to make them work. And I think the film suffers. Now, maybe back when it came out, it was pretty exciting during that 3D craze of the early 80s. But it just ages poorer and poorer as we go. However, I'm not ranking it any lower than Where's the Corkscrew because Jason gets his mask. I think Richard Brooker is a really awesome Jason here. And even though everyone hates Shelley, I kind of like Shelley. Although now I'm thinking, because it was a little higher in my rank, should this be stupendous? I don't know. You guys are going to have to let me know in the chat if it should be stupendous. I need your help. Part 3 fucks. I don't know what that means, Gavin. It sounds good, but it could be bad. I don't know. It could be bad. Big Rod, no worries, Big Rod. We are just getting going with the Friday the 13th franchise tier maker ranking here. All right. Aaron says part 3 is stupendous. Medley Man says part 3 is stupendous. All right. Davey, it needs points for being sexy. And H2O, I wish H2O were sexy, but yeah, part 3 get some sexy going on. Brooke says stupendous. Okay. Medley Man, it's yeah, really, where's the corkscrew? See, there you go. Let's see. Stone says part 3 was the first one I watched. Love the disco score and some of the 3D is cool, but hardly any gore, and recycled ending is about as awful as the opening of part 2 in my opinion. I love it, Stone. I love it. You know how you feel, and I love it. Part 3 is fun, but the characters are kind of boring. Yeah. I guess I could run a poll, huh? It seems like, oh, Jamie says part, yeah. Yeah, let's how about we run a poll? Let's see. See if I can chew gum and walk at the same time here. Let's see. How do I do a poll? Let's see. Look at me try to figure stuff out. It's hilarious. There we go. Start a poll. Okay. Part 3, and I'll just do stupendous. Where's the corkscrew? Where's the corkscrew? Gotta love Crispin Glover. There you go, guys. You can start voting in the poll there. I feel like it's going to go up to stupendous. I'll give you guys a few minutes here or a few moments to collect your thoughts on that one. Medley Man says, the bar has been recovered. There you go. The disco theme makes it stupendous. I think you might be pulling me over with the disco. Yeah. It does have Tracy Savage. She's one of the most 3 attractive women in the franchise to me. She is a cutie. Yeah, I think she is a cutie. Where do you think does Judy Aronson fit in that top 3 there, Cody? Because for me, she's got to be number 1 in this franchise for sure. Part 3 feels the most authentic to what Friday the 13th is, not just because of the mask. The video game really made me appreciate part 3 more. Yeah, it really is. I mean, like, it's where Jason like finally takes shape to the Jason that we know. So I think that's probably going to give it the edge, and we can go ahead and put it in stupendous. Do we even need the poll? Let's see here. Come on. How come I can't see what's going on with the poll? There we go. Oh my, there we go. Stupendous. And the poll, stupendous wins with 57% of the vote. All right. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. I doubt I'm going to get much pushback here. I'd be surprised, maybe 1 or 2 dissenting voices. Final chapter is easily my special boy, right? I mean, it's arguably the best in the franchise. I prefer Jason Lives, but the final chapter used to be my favorite in the franchise. So to me, it's top tier here. GOAT status, as people say. Oh, Judy Aronson, not to me, but she's a babe too. Screw you, Polly. We got Raymond Malaber in the chat. I must have missed you when you jumped in, Raymond. So sorry, but great to see you here. Part 1 is Candy Bar. 2 and 3 are Corkscrew for me. All right, man. All right. There we go. Raymond, I'm interested to see which ones are my special boy for you. Part 3 has issues, no question, but there's just enough things to make it stupendous. I like that. I like it. And Cody's top 3 hottest ladies in Friday the 13th are Kimberly Beck, Kirsten Baker, and Tracy Savage. Tracy Savage. All right. Aaron says Richard Brooker's traps make it stupendous as well. Yeah, he is a beastly, bulging man. The bar has been destroyed again, says Medley Man. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Cody Snyder says, final chapter easily is my special boy. But Gavin says stupendous after my last viewing. What brings it down for you, Gavin? What brings it down? Is it not seeing Mama get killed? Mama Jarvis? 4 is S tier, says Big Rod. There we go. Goat. We got a little goat from Cody. There it is. Final chapter is my special boy. Allie says Judy Aronson is still so hot. Oh my gosh. Fan me off. She is it's remarkable. It's remarkable, Allie, isn't it? Brooke says part 4, my special boy for sure. Cool. We got some pretty much consensus here. I think. Yeah, Raymond, Judy Aronson is the girl in the raft. Yeah. Yep. Back in the days when there was nudity in every slasher movie, damn it. Well, pretty much everyone. Yeah. Trisha says Davey agreed. 3 really got it going, and I highly enjoy 4. Yeah. Medley Man. Boom. Next 3 are all my special boy. We will see. We will see. There you go. Ashton chimes in, agrees. And we got Robert the Wolfman in the chat. Oh, how you doing, Robert? Great to see you, my guy. Always love seeing you jump in here. And we are doing the fun little tier maker ranking here. Yeah. All right. Everyone seems to be pretty good on this one. I think we can move it on over to part 5, A New Beginning. Stone does say final chapter is number 1 as far as the sequels go. It's got pot smoking Lauren Monason from Last American Virgin and Crispin Dead Fuck Glover. Yeah, I love it. I still haven't seen The Last American Virgin, but I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and I noticed. I was like, that's the guy from Final Chapter. It's great. Everyone's saying what's up to Robert. This is great. Robert the Mead Man. Oh my goodness. Yeah, check it out, guys. I got Robert's the lemon. I know there's some reflection. The lemon configuration. Beautiful. This mead was amazing. Little lemon, little honey. You could taste the alcohol in there, but it wasn't like too overpowering or anything. It was really nice. Just throw some ice in there, sip on it. Perfect. Robert says, I wish you could have come out to Mad Monster. We missed you. I know, man. I was just so incredibly busy this weekend and it sucks. But sometimes sometimes it gets to the point where push comes to shove and you got to do the adult things. Yeah. Not the adult things, but the boring adult things. She was Vinny's girlfriend in 13 Fanboy. Judy Aronson? I watched it. I watched that movie, but I clearly need to rewatch it because I don't know if something distracted me or I just don't remember as much of it as I thought I did, but I need to rewatch it. So that's on the list. You just made the list. Davey, are you one who understands and is okay with the moving away from nudity in movies, or do you miss it / want it back? I mean, it's just like depends on the movie. I think teen comedies and horror films, I think it kind of belongs in a way. But I don't ever watch I don't watch like a modern slasher movie and be like, oh, it sucked because it didn't have nudity. But I do think it's something that sort of gives you that feeling of the genre. But yeah, I mean, really, it's up to the filmmakers. I would never judge a filmmaker for not including it or anything. But it's funny when something like that ends up being it's refreshing to see because it reminds you of the old school days. Just as long as everyone's comfortable with it. I'd take off my clothes in a horror movie. And Robert's got another bottle for Kate and I. Yes. I'll make sure to put it in a safe and only Kate will have the combination. There we go. I think it just lacks between 3 and 5. It's hard to be between those two because 3 is the best movie and 5 is my fave. All right. We'll see here. Raymond says, how are you feeling? I'm feeling, I still have some soreness in this left ear, but it's not like yesterday was pretty rough. So yeah, feeling much better than yesterday. So thank you for asking, Raymond. And yeah, let's go on over to part 5, A New Beginning. Now, for me, this one is Where's the Corkscrew, but it's not for the reason that you guys may think. I think there's something missing here, and it's on-screen violence. Where the hell is the on-screen violence in Friday the 13th, part 5, A New Beginning? You see everyone's boobs, but so many of the kills are cutaways or you see something after the fact. Even when is it Lana, the waitress, when she gets stabbed with the axe, I don't think you see it go in her. You see the axe on the ground after. It's this weird kind of time where I know the MPAA was sort of cracking down on violence in these movies. And I do think that there's something missing. And of course, I always got to make fun of Pam when she's like, Reggie, it's me, it's Pam. And she says it a couple times. It's like, yeah, Pam, Reggie knows who you are. He's just shocked because he saw a room full of dead people. Give the kid a break. Let's see here. It's the first comment I saw, Gavin. I'm scrolling back up through all the cops have been called. I imagine that in the most Aubrey Plaza kind of voice. Is that fair? Let's see here. I have not seen Poor Things. I heard that my wife watched Poor Things with her parents, and she said it's tons of sex. I'm probably I'm probably more uncomfortable watching nudity in a standard Hollywood movie than I am in something that's in the horror genre for sure. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Aaron agrees with the whole nudity thing. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like as long as everyone's comfortable with it. Dude, I gotta get out to Arizona. More is popping. Yeah, you gotta get out here more, Big Rod. How far away are we? Probably just a short little flight. Friday the 13th, A New Beginning is a guilty pleasure in my book. I'd put it in Where's the Corkscrew? And yes, Jason is in the movie. Yeah, he's in the hallucinations and everything for sure. Hot take, but part 5 is my special boy for me. Way to go, Ashton. Speak on up, man. Let it be heard. You are not alone. Mud says they brought back nudity in Hatchet, kinda. If you want nudity now, you have to watch all the movies that glorify cheating. That they glorify cheating in nowadays. Gotcha. Yeah, not really like the horror genre that's really doing it. You know, even in like Thanksgiving, I thought there was like opportunity for a little bit more of that, but I didn't miss it. I just loved Thanksgiving so much. Everything else about it worked so much for me. Yeah. The cops have been called. Special boy Roy. Come on, Roy. Get you ready to get your hands dirty or whatever. The chewing the gum while he's on the job. Aaron still thinks part 5 is stupendous. Tommy does kick people's asses, though, says Cody. They should have made Tommy the killer in that one. Jamie says part 5 was the first Friday I saw in the theater. It remains the most memorable time I've ever had in the theater. That's awesome. Cody loves 5. So yeah, guys, should I bump it up from Where's the Corkscrew to what is it? To Stupendous? Let me know. Let me know. Medley Man says, you are biased. This is clearly a masterpiece. I don't think I'm biased, but you say that about me all the time, Medley Man. Did I hurt your feelings? Yeah, I mean bias as far as like I prefer that like in a slasher movie that the slashing not be tamed or cut out. Yeah, I guess that's a bias for me that when I go to see a slasher movie, maybe not every slasher because Halloween works for me because that's the whole tone of that original film is it sticks with that tone. And it came along at a time where, you know, even Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it was violent, but it wasn't bloody. But at this point, at the 5th movie in the Friday the 13th series, you're expecting certain things. And I feel like in part 5, some of those things are kind of neutered out of the film. Director Dan Steinman did A New Beginning and loved boobs. Yep. Yes. Oh, he did Savage Streets. Yeah, and I know he did a bunch of porn and stuff like that too. Yeah, he certainly did. And the movie does a great job at showing as many boobs as possible. I think there's at least 6. Yeah, could have made it an 8 and shown Ethel's. Just saying. Will you shut the fuck up? Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Hey, baby. Ooh, baby. All right. You guys want me to move it up to Stupendous? Let's see here. Everyone's getting the ooh, baby going. There we go. Aaron says Reggie's scream is epic level, making the film stupendous. Okay, guys. You guys talked me into it. We're not going to do Medley Man wants a poll, but we got to wrap this up within the next half hour. So I am just going to scooch it on up to the east side. All right, Jason Lives. That's my special boy, and I don't give a damn what anybody says. Absolutely, Jason Lives. Part 6, Jason Lives is my special boy. For me, it is my most special boy because it's my favorite in the franchise. It wasn't my favorite until maybe the last 8 years or so, something like that. Really loved the final chapter for most of the time. Like part 2 and the final chapter were like vying for, you know, first place for me for a long time. But man, Jason Lives, so friggin' good. So amazing. I don't even think we really need to like discuss this one. So let's move on to something else that we can, you know, discuss a little more. This one, I think part 7, A New Blood, is the perfect fit for Where's the Corkscrew. I know some folks might want to put it in Joey's Candy Bar or Look at What You Did to Him. But this one more so than part 5 or A New Beginning, you know, this one really had the gore stripped out because of the MKA. So I feel so bad for John Carl Buechler. Here, they finally brought in a special effects guy, a makeup guy to direct a Friday the 13th film. We get arguably the best looking Jason, just as far as like kick-ass cool looking factor goes, you know, like this Jason in part 7 is incredible. Like seeing when I was a kid and I watched these movies on TV, it was probably my first favorite, you know, the first few times I saw these just on cable. And of course on cable everything's stripped out anyway, so I didn't even know, you know, that the gore was taken out of the actual film. But seeing Jason's ribs and spine, the way his face looks, there's just such a great look here for Jason. And I do feel that the censors really cut the legs out from under this one. That's why it's Where's the Corkscrew. It has nothing to do with the filmmakers. Some of the performances are a little iffy here, but not all of them. Some of them really work for me. But yeah, I think this movie is like the definition of a mixed bag, unfortunately. So much potential, but it really goes down a notch for being pretty much edited for television, other than Beebs. So right here, New Blood is special. Boy, to me, says Raymond. Yeah. Yeah. I totally get it. I have so much fun with it. And, you know, from nostalgic purposes, like looking back at it, I totally hear what you're saying, Ray. Brooks says part 7 is Corkscrew. Stupendous says Medley Man. Stone says, sadly, part 7 is where the franchise plummets for me. It's not Buechler's fault. Just found it incredibly boring. Yeah. Yep. If only it had the gore, and the sad fact is they didn't even save those negatives. So there's no way to restore. Like they have like B-roll footage or something that's on that box set that I've got, that I think a lot of you folks probably have that box set, or at least some sort of those, you know, those new releases they did about a decade and a half ago. Or what is it? Just a decade ago, maybe. The Blu-ray collection. So yeah, you can see like the really rough cuts, but there's no way they can restore them, you know, unfortunately. Either Where You Got It or Joey's Candy Bar. Yeah. Yeah. And Tina is pretty cool. I see what you guys are saying. I like the idea of Jason getting to fight somebody that's actually formidable for him. I really dig it. Of course, you know, all of you Friday the 13th fans know, I'm sure, that originally this is when they wanted to do the Freddy versus Jason kind of thing. And it, you know, the talks just fizzled out. So they still wanted Jason to be able to face somebody that would actually be a challenge for him and be able to sort of get him in the end, you know? So I do really like that element for sure. As a kid, I really loved all the telekinesis that I was probably watching this stuff at the same time that I was getting into X-Men and all that. So this was just like perfect, you know? That would be a wild crossover movie, is like X-Men meets, you know, all the horror slasher villains. So you get like Michael, Jason, Freddy, Chucky, Candyman, you get all those guys, Leatherface, and you get them to all go Hellraiser, or Pinhead from Hellraiser. You get them to fight the Marvel superheroes. That would be amazing. It is, Stone. You're absolutely right. That's great. A mixed sleeping bag. That's hilarious. Raymond says Kane is my favorite Jason. Yeah, it's too bad he's in all these movies that are just like not very good. He is a great Jason. I think my favorite, you know, CJ Graham. I love CJ Graham from part 6, of course. I really do love Ted White in Final Chapter, and Richard Brooker. I think those are like my favorite 3. But Kane is the most consistent one. Yeah. Nicholas says, yeah, MPAA really does suck, and I don't remember 7. Yeah. Derek is my favorite, but we'll talk about him soon. Okay. Oh, Derek Mears. Yeah, he's really good. Jason Takes Vancouver. Yeah, there are 27 likes now, Nicholas. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Second favorite Friday Final Girl. All right, there we go. Jason Takes Manhattan. To me, this is look what you did to him. Because yet again, here we are with like most kills cut by the MPAA. I don't even think this one has real nudity in it. So again, cut by the MPAA. Wet ass Jason with a yellow mask. Weird. And Talking about look at what you did to him. How about after the acid or the toxic waste, whatever the hell it is, the toxic waste breaks his mask off, just looks like some middle school paper mache head. It is embarrassing and gross. And it just feels like such a missed opportunity here. This movie to me, uh, it's just gross. The whole scene where Rennie gets drugged by the guys in the street right before they try to assault her. It's just, I don't know. This movie is just kind of off in so many ways. And, the fashion is pretty rough too. So I'll just throw that in there just to add insult to injury. Let's see what you guys are saying here. The chat's just blowing up. Yeah. 8 is look at what you did to him. Shit sucks. Everyone says I look like Wayne though, just because I have glasses and long hair. I think Wayne kind of looks like he's got like a bit of a Matt Damon look in this one. Which is funny to me because he's supposed to be, I guess he's supposed to be, at least he's not attractive to the bitchy blonde girl. So I don't know if they're trying to say that he's, supposed to be not the best looking guy, but I'm like, well, he looks like Matt Damon, and everyone thought Matt Damon was hot, at least, in those younger years. Big Rod like Kane in the Hatchet films, but as the father, he acted well. Big Rod, I've not seen the Hatchet films. I need to watch those. I know that he played the father there. Yeah, I got to check those out. Don't think we need to discuss part 8 any further. Jamie says, Davey, you should totally get Stone on late night. He knows his stuff like no other. Yeah, Stone, if you would be into appearing as a guest on my show on Late Night with the Davey, Wednesday nights live at 10 p.m. Eastern, hit me up with a DM. You can find my social links in the description below, so you can hit me up on Twitter or Instagram, whatever. And if you're interested in doing that, let's find a time that would work for you. All right, let's see here. Yep, everyone pretty much agrees here. So we are just going to keep it moving. Matt Damon. The only 2 things about Manhattan I like are A, Jason's look, and B, the soundtrack. Yeah, I think, I kind of ripped on the wet look and the yellow mask. It's cool that he has a unique look in this movie. I think the yellow mask to me is a little off-putting. The squishy stepping a little bit too. But yeah, I get what you mean. Like, he does look like he's a true water monster at this point, which Jason really is a water monster. And in this movie, he feels like it more than he ever has before. And yeah, I do think the soundtrack's pretty fun. Got some fun kind of cheesy 80s stuff in here. Bitchy blonde girl got sort of naked. Yeah, I think you might see a little bit of cheek. A little bit. Yeah. Bitchy blonde cokehead girl. Hatchet films are fun. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check those out for sure. Okay. All right, guys. Moving into... It's just Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. Can't call it Friday the 13th. Well, I can, but they couldn't. And I'm going to put this in Joey's Candy Bar, I think, for me. You know what? I'm going to do look what you did to him. Because they basically take Jason out of this movie. Except for the very beginning, the very end, Jason is pretty much, absent. It's more of like an Evil Dead film, more of like a demonic possession film than your typical kind of Friday the 13th slasher. And I know that was like the aim and everything, but if we're ranking these, comparing them to one another, then, the intention of the filmmaker doesn't really matter as much as like a, giving like a review of the film, so to speak. There are elements about Jason Goes to Hell that I really, really enjoy. There are some performances here that I love, some special effects work that is absolutely incredible. But even as a big Evil Dead fan here, seeing the Necronomicon and the, the dagger, the Kandarian dagger, it just seems out of place. It's something that would be like in a comic book, but maybe not be in a movie, especially if you're not really going to do anything, if you're not going to tie it with Evil Dead and by bringing Ash in there at that point. To me, the movie ages strangely. And man, the music is some of the worst music I've ever heard in a film because they're using this really cheesy digital synth that's like, it's like this odd place in the 90s where like the technology wasn't there for like the synthesizer to sound good or whatever voice they picked for the synthesizer. I really don't like it. And it seems like the credits, especially the next time you watch Jason Goes to Hell and you're watching the credits, pay attention to how dreadful the music is because it feels like you're being punished for something. Absolutely. Yeah, there you go. Jason Goes to Hell is not my favorite. Weird. Medley Man says it's stupendous. Brooke says it's at the bottom. Aaron Click says, no, where's the corkscrew? Wow. All right. Where's the corkscrew? It is so unique. I agree with you. I just don't think the uniqueness for me just doesn't work. Is the bottom. Medley Man says, God damn it, Davey. I know. Our brains aren't the same, Medley Man. It's a damn shame. But you know what's awesome is you can make your own list. Once the video is over, jump back into the comments section. Tell me where you would put all of these films with these categories here, with those categories there. So yeah, guys, that goes for everyone in the chat. Everyone that's catching this after the fact, because I am going to splice this video aside and release it later. If you're watching this after the fact, hop into the comments and let me know your tier maker franchise ranking for Friday the 13th. And if you got time, let me know why. Especially if you feel like you've got a hot take, let me know why. I'm always really interested and fascinated to know why people, put a certain movie in a certain ranking. So yeah, let's check it out. Eat your fucking slop. Don't I make the best slop? Not really a fan of Jason Goes to Hell, but it is the goriest. Yeah, the gore really works for me here. Even they do bring in sort of like a tease for all that Evil Dead stuff because all like the disintegration effects and everything is very similar to the original Evil Dead, like that stop motion scene at the end of the original Dead. Oh, I haven't seen that one, Stone. I need to catch it. Can I watch those episodes anywhere? Is the Friday the 13th series, the TV series, is it on YouTube or anything like that? Let me know. I think we'll just go ahead and jump on over to the ranking again. Jason X. Whew. Man. My immediate reaction, everyone, is to put this in look at what you did to him. Because the movie just has such a low budget look. Kind of looks like a Star Trek Next Generation episode as far as the production value. It just looks kind of cheap, sci-fi TV show or something like that, like Sci-Fi Network TV show. But there are some great kills. There are some fun performances. Jason's got a pretty interesting look. I don't really Uber Jason doesn't really do it for me, but the Jason look before that, I kind of like that look for Kane. And I mean, they kill a shitload of people in this movie. So I do think I gotta put it in Joey's Candy Bar. And I know some of you may be like, what the hell? But this movie, this is one of those ones, like I said, I can rewatch Jason Takes Manhattan. Every time I put on X, I'm like, can I make it through this one? But I do recognize it has elements that, are make it far better, in my opinion, than Takes Manhattan or Jason Goes to Hell. But man, it just looks so cheap. It's tough to like rewatch. It looks like some skin flick from Cinemax back in the 90s or something. Aaron says, go with your immediate reaction. Cody says it also has Cronenberg in it. That's right. David Cronenberg plays, I think, like FBI agent or something at the beginning of it. Gavin says Joey's Candy Bar. There we go. We're on the same wavelength, Gavin. See, that's the awesome thing about differing opinions is like you do find those commonalities. I'm not going to get all excited about Venn diagrams, but there's like that whole Venn diagram of fandom. Sometimes we just love that little sliver in the middle. And that's what unites us. All right. Ashton says, hear me out. Jason X is bad, but it's kind of dumb fun. So Joey's Candy Bar. Couldn't have put it better myself. That is very succinct. I rambled on forever for my reasoning, and I like that one better, Ashton. Way to go. That's a good one. Jamie would put it, Jason X in stupendous, great characters, and it's just good schlocky fun. It is that for sure. Stone has fun with Jason X, even though it's really stupid, the effects being atrocious. Love the fact that the ship is named the Grendel. Yeah, from Beowulf. Yeah, Grendel, isn't that Beowulf's mom or something like that? Or is it the villain? My God, it's been so long since I've read Beowulf, and I did not watch the movie. There we go. Joey's candy bar is generous, but okay. Allie girl says Jason X is stupendous. Wow. And then Brooke says, look at what you did to him. Love that Betsy Palmer performance. Jason X has the most punk rock kill in any movie. Yeah, liquid nitrogen kill is pretty top. That might be the only thing saving it here from being look at what you did to him for me. Yeah, what can you do? What can you do? Alley Girl says Jason X Part 2 is going to be fire. Yeah. Is Vin really doing that? Is he doing like an animated or comic book, or how's he going to do that? And then Aaron Click says, looks like a sci-fi network original. Yep, exactly. Exactly. All right, let's jump in. Grendel was the villain. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I haven't read Beowulf since like senior year of high school, something like that. All right. Jumping into the last two, which will wrap us up here. Freddy versus Jason. Oh, man. This one, for me, where do I put it? Where would you guys, maybe we should do a poll for this one. I'm thinking either Where's the Corkscrew or Joey's Candy Bar, because I think as a Friday the 13th movie, it serves so much better as a Freddy movie, as a Nightmare on Elm Street flick, than a vehicle for Jason. Jason's pretty much just a plot contrivance here to, allow Freddy to do his thing. So I'm thinking Where's the Corkscrew, because I could have used a little bit more of the Jason element, really, other than him killing people, and seeing Freddy as his mom in a dream when he's dead. You do get the end at Crystal Lake, but then also do that whole weird thing where when he's fighting Freddy in the dream world, he's afraid of water, which is completely bizarre because he's a water monster. So it's one of those things where it's like, I could go either way, Joey's Candy Bar or Where's the Corkscrew on here, but I know it's not Look at What You Did to Him, and I don't think it's Stupendous or My Special Boy. So let's see here. All right, you guys, man. Ashton says Freddy versus Jason has its problems, but it's a lot of fun. Stupendous. Medley Man says in the middle. So Where's the Corkscrew? Not Stupendous. Jamie says Stupendous. Gavin can't decide on this one between the two that I said. Yeah, having a tough time. Brooks says Stupendous. All right. Stupendous as a Friday the 13th film, because remember, we're ranking them in comparison to one another. So, that's what I'm trying to give some parameters there, Brooke. But hey, if you think it's stupendous compared to all the other films within the Friday the 13th franchise, then more power to you. Trisha says the top. I agree with Ashton. All right. Stone says it's a tough call. It's okay for what it is. I have some fun with it, but man, there are a lot of flaws and ridiculousness. Yeah. And it does play like, I think when I watch it, it just really reminds me of that like 03, right? It was 03, just that early 2000s era where everything was just like a little too slick, a little too polished. Slashers didn't have the grit that they had in the 80s, any of that kind of stuff. Eli says, Where's the Corkscrew? And then back to Jason X Part 2. Ali says it's still just a really great Vinny idea. No solid plans. Well, I would trust Vincent DeSanti to do anything with Jason Voorhees. So if he wants to make Jason X Part 2, I bet it would be about 10 times better than Jason X. Absolutely. Joey's Candy Bar. Stupendous for Monica Keena and Catherine Isabel alone. Yeah, Monica Keena looks great in this one. And she's pretty good as an actress in here. She's okay. Top tier. Wow. Considering FBJ in terms of a Friday the 13th film as opposed to a Nightmare. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of it as well. So yeah, I think because you guys everyone's kind of all over the place. So I think the fair about this is Where's the Corkscrew? Smack dab in the middle. And then I'm going to freak everybody out. I'm putting a remake in my special boy. That's what's up. I think this movie is excellent. I think Marcus Nispel, I don't know how you pronounce it. Marcus Nispel does an amazing job at directing and bringing like brutality and force and feeling like the physical nature of the characters in his film. You know, remember he also did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake from 2003. That movie is really visceral. It's, you can, you know, feel every little bit of the violence in that film. And he brings all of that over here to Friday the 13th, 2009. The opening act is one of the best opening acts to a horror film I've ever seen. It's basically a mini movie right there, which is awesome to kind of get all those kills out of the way. You kind of get to know, you know, the villain a little bit. For folks, maybe that was their first time seeing a Friday the 13th movie, or maybe that was their first one in the theater. Kind of gets you up to speed and puts you right in the vibe of what you're about to see there. I know a lot of people rip on the characters here and say that these characters are terrible, garbage, etc., etc. Well, it's Friday the 13th, so go back through all the other films, and yeah, you're gonna find like cool characters and good characters and all that. But man, it's just kind of like the slasher trope that a lot of the characters are throwaway, annoying or borderline annoying, and really horny, young, and stupid. So that stuff doesn't bother me at all. Actually, I think that, in my opinion, helps elevate this movie as a Friday the 13th film. And Derek Mears as Jason is one of the best, most imposing slasher just forms of all time. Love him with the sack head. Love him with the hockey mask. I dig the whole look. That shot of him like standing on the roof, like looking down, is just so epic, right? He's almost like got this Victorian like coat on, almost like a it's not really like a duster, but it's got, yeah, this Victorian look to it, like this long jacket. I love that he uses different implements of destruction for his kills, and that he uses the things that you would practice in camp to kill people. I think that's a really cute thing that they bring back. They don't really bring too much attention to it. It just sort of happens and you have to be the one to catch it. So I really like that. And I love the portrayal of Jason, kind of like a spider. He's like a trapdoor spider. Crystal Lake is his web. This is the only place where he's known safety, security, love. Is the last place where he saw his mother alive. And it's where he's been ever since. And I love that he's got these tripwires, floodlights set up, these intricate tunnels, and he can just sort of pop up all over the place. If you walk on his web, he's going to know about it and he is going to come kill your ass. And I love that interpretation of Jason. I don't think every movie needs to have a Jason like that, but I'm so thankful that this movie went that route because it just makes him so interesting to me. I love it. I absolutely love it. And let's see what you guys have to say, because I haven't been looking at the chat at all. I've just been staring at the screen. So let's see what you all got here. Boom. Ashton says, 09 is my favorite. It was the only one I've seen in theaters, has my favorite Jason and great kills. My special boy for me. Yeah, me too, man. My special boy. There you go. Brooke says, my special boy. Trisha, I agree with Jamie wholeheartedly. I've seen Freddy versus Jason 100 times. Oh, what did I miss that Jamie said? Oh, she said, I don't get sick of Freddy versus Jason. I can rewatch it over and over. Feels like a comfy old shoot. Exactly. Yeah. I love those comfort movies. For me, it's not so much, but I totally get what you mean. And I think that's awesome. I think that's one of the coolest parts about horror fandom, is that even though these movies are like known for being like gory and exploitative and all that stuff, like you see them enough, you're just sort of like, ah, it's like a warm blanket on a rainy day. I love it. I love it. Gene says, I put the remake at the bottom. Why? Every character in the movie is so bad, and Jason takes a hostage. Yeah, well, he thinks he's like confused, right? Because Jason's in this version, you know, of course, he's been able to set up all these tripwires and all this fun stuff. But there is something going on with his mental acuity here. So he's really not all there. and he sees Amanda Righetti's character that looks so much like his mother. They make that point. So it's this association thing. That's why he like doesn't kill her, because there's this confusion. Is this my mother? Is this like, I thought this person was trespassing. Am I just keeping my mom safe? So you can see it as a hostage or as him wanting to keep her safe, because it's the closest thing to love and comfort that he's known since his mother was killed. Trisha says remake is awesome. Friday the 13th 09 is stupendous for me, but nice tier choice, Davey. Thank you, Stone. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, these are always really fun to do, especially just kind of bouncing them off you guys and getting your opinions and everything like that. So yeah, these are always really interesting. And again, like if you listen to my ranking, I think I probably have the remake in the middle. It might be top 5. It might be number 6. But I do think, again, comparing them to each other and doing the tier maker, which to me is a whole different flavor of ranking, I think it's really appropriate here at the top. The remake is hot. Oh, yeah. What kind of funny guy dresses up in a Christmas sweater anyway? Only she didn't say funny guy. Oh, yeah. An ugly moment in Freddy versus Jason, which apparently wasn't in the script. It was just something that they improvised there, right at the moment. Stone says 09 remake is definitely the most underrated. I love it. Yeah, I do think it's underrated. I think out of all those remakes that came out, this one and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre are the two that I like. I don't like the Rob Zombie 07 Halloween remake, and I really don't like the A Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Medley Man says easiest my special boy ever. Yep. Aaron says it's Joey's Candy Bar. Lacks the personality of those core 80s entries. I would say I don't know how many times you've seen it, Aaron, but maybe give it another shot. I mean, yeah, it is a modern film, but I don't remember like cell phones really being a thing there. It just might be like the fashion and all that kind of stuff that, gives it away, but it looks like it could take place like in another decade. I would say, depending on how many times you've seen it, maybe just give it another shot this spooky season. See what you think. Oh, my Ziggy wouldn't bring the remake up. Sorry. Remake would be my special boy for me, but they saved the wrong final girl. Yeah, I think that's like a kind of a cool little move they made there. Not really. They do the switch out on the final girl. I kind of dig that. Very shocking moment, every time you watch it. Stone says right there with you, Raymond. That was my one complaint. Oh yeah, the final girl thing. Yeah. There we go. Brooke says yes. Derek Mears is fire. He's amazing. He is amazing. Stone says maybe his favorite Jason. Hot take or not? Yeah, really damn good. It's a friggin' shame we didn't get more. We should have gotten more with Derek Mears for sure. Whoa, we got Nick Push in the chat. What's happening? You better go on over to Nick's channel and push that like button. Great to see you, Nick. Thanks for coming in. Stone says, plus I like dub the remake Friday the 13th 420. Yeah, it is a bit of a stoner flick, huh? Yeah, I like that. Allie says stupendous. Davey final like count is 28. Thank you so much, Nicholas. Yeah, guys, I'm probably gonna hop off on probably hop off here in a minute or so. Yeah, just wanted to say take a look at all the chats here and jump on a couple more of these. Nick says Derek Mears is fantastic, but I'm not a fan of the jacket look on Jason. Oh, I do like the jacket look. But yeah, if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work. No big deal. If he thought it was his mother, wouldn't he let her roam free around him? You're my mom. You stay here in this cage. Seems absurd. Yeah, I think with the mental things that are going on with Jason, he might just think that he's keeping her safe. Again, if you don't like it, I totally get it. So much for this film works for me in a big way. I think maybe the music is the one thing where I'd be like, I'm not sure about that. But yeah, definitely the best Jason. For some reason, thought you were on about Nightmare remake. I'm tired. Friday 09 is my favorite in the franchise. Nice. Jason couldn't bring himself to kill someone who looks so much like his mother. It confused him. He may have known it wasn't her, but because of her resemblance, he just couldn't kill her. I think that makes sense enough when you consider Jason's, you know, intelligence and all that. So yeah, guys, that is gonna wrap it up for this stream here. It was great doing the franchise ranking with you all here. I love doing these. Let me know in the comments which one you want to see next. And please be on the lookout for a whole bunch of fun stuff coming from this channel and collaborations on other channels. I have been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care.